Hi, I'm Matt from Soul Shifter. Welcome to the New Look channel. Yep, it's new look, new me, new everything, but it's still going to kind of be the same. I did promise that the whole culture and the whole feel of the channel is going to kind of stay the same. I just feel that it needed a bit of an update, a bit of a spring clean, a bit of a sweeping all that old energy out. So that's what I've done. I've basically come in with a slightly different look, you know, and a slightly different feel to the channel. I don't know if you can hear, there's a bit of music playing in the background. There's a slight, I've put a bit of a filter on me so I don't look so incredibly pale and gecko-like. Yeah, it's just gonna be, you know, I just think we're gonna still have fun here, and we're gonna still talk about some really cool stuff, maybe some stuff that's a bit you know, a bit wild and a bit out there, but stay with me, you know, and I'm thank you for all the people who've given me such positive feedback and come back at me with such wonderful comments. Like, you guys are the best, absolute best. So some of the things I want to chat about on the sort of New Look channel are slightly more controversial things. I've been warned not to get too controversial, but there are some things that I have strong opinions about, and I know that you have strong opinions about. And I'd like to engage in a dialogue with that sort of thing with you guys. I love your comments. I love all the comments that come through to me, whether positive or negative, or kind of, hey Matt, maybe you should angle stuff a little bit this way instead of that way. I learn from your comments all the time, guys, and I thank you so much for responding and being interactive with the channel. It doesn't only mean a lot to my heart, it also means a lot to my algorithm. So keep it up, keep commenting, keep liking, keep sending little hearts. It's hugely appreciated, and it'll get the channel out there, you know. And I know that you guys talk about, or you would talk about Tubby Tarot, so I'm really hoping that you will talk about Soul Shifter as well, and say to your friends and family, hey, go and check this guy out, you know. He's got this little channel, and you know, maybe you'll find some of the stuff he talks about interesting. So I've done a bit of a clean out of a lot of stuff. I thought, you know, what the hell, let me clear out some tarot decks and get rid of some books and stuff. So my collections have kind of changed a lot. I have sold a shitload of tarot decks. The shelf behind me used to be completely, like, literally top to way down there bottom. It used to be filled with tarot cards. I'm sure you all knew. Anybody who is newer to this channel, you won't know, but the rest of you know that I had over 100 boxes of tarot cards. Now, to many people, that's not really a lot. Some people have got literally 1,000 boxes of tarot decks lying around, and I just got to the stage where, as you know, I had reviewed all the tarot boxes in my tarot decks in my collection, and they were just sitting here, and my tastes have changed a little bit. I'm not prepared to just buy tarot and oracle and Lenormand decks just so that I can do reviews. They cost way too much money, and also I think it's a bit of a waste of time. I'm going to end up with like a whole room full of tarot boxes. So I've kind of cleared out a lot. I think I've only kept about, I'd say maybe 30 tarot, oracle and Lenormand decks together. I've only kept about 30 boxes out of about 100. So there's been about 70 boxes that I've actually moved on. I've sold a lot of them, and I have given a lot of them away, actually just passed them on, gifted them to people. Some people have actually phoned me after I placed ads and said, you know, I want that specific box, because what I was doing is I was selling them as like a lucky dip box of like 70 tarot decks, you know, card decks. But yeah, so they have all gone, and I've got a bit of moolah in for them, which I think is great. You know, everybody says, oh, money is the root of all evil. Well, then I must be fucking evil, because I need the ka-ching, baby. But I've already spent the ka-ching on books, which has kind of become my new challenge this year, is to start reading fantasy books. And I think it's a nice genre to read, especially with my interests in tarot and crystals and energy healing and kind of magic with a K, that sort of stuff, you know, and I think fantasy books are really great. As you know, my ultimate is, of course, still my Agatha Christie's, but yeah, I'm getting into the whole kind of Robin Hobb and sort of Ursula Le Guin kind of stuff, you know. So if you are a fantasy reader, sorry, I'm sweating, hold on a second. See, nothing changes, I'm still a sweaty mess. But if you are a fantasy reader, please let me know down below. Maybe give me 1 or 2 suggestions of stuff I could read. And you know what, I'm begging you, don't give me the entire sort of, I don't know, is it Earthsea flippin' Robin Hobb collection of 16 books and going strong. I can't do that at the moment. In fact, at the moment, I'm busy reading, oh God, what is it? It's by Garth Nix. I'll tell you right now, I'll show you one of the books. It's going to be a wrong way around, sorry, the cameras. It's this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I think it's called The Keys to the Kingdom. I'm reading that series, and yes, I know it's a YA, it's young adult, it's not an adult fantasy, but I'm freaking loving it, man. I also got funny stuff like, I got the series of the House with the Clock in its Walls, that kind of stuff. So I'm easing my way into fantasy reading and fantasy collections by reading young adult fantasy. And I'm very excited. Sorry, I'm rambling about books, hang on. As my last thing, I'm very, very excited that I've got the entire Witcher series winging its way to me as we speak, all 8 books or something. So yeah, that's my new gig, my new kick. And also, you know, I think a lot of the time when we collect things, especially with me, I'm just talking about me, I tend to collect stuff that it's like a one-use thing, you know, like I will collect crystals. All right, my crystals are actually like up there somewhere, you can't see them, but I've got a whole sort of printer's tray full of crystals, and I was going around to collect crystals, and still now today, if I see a really pretty crystal and it attracts my attention, I'll buy that crystal. But that crystal has to call to me. At one stage, I was just going around buying whatever looked pretty, you know. Now, I was using them for crystal healing and that sort of thing, but now I don't really use the crystals. They're just sitting up there looking pretty, which is not, there's nothing wrong with it. But I feel that I'm not doing anything with them, okay? The 100 tarot card decks, there were, as I just pointed out, there were 70 decks that I wasn't even looking at, let alone using. It's dust collectors for me. I don't want to collect stuff that has no actual use for me. I can't read tarot with 100 decks of cards. Also, a lot of the tarot cards I was collecting were, they were designed as look pieces. I call them look pieces. You couldn't actually physically read with them because they were so gilded and so beautiful and so intricate that the minute you did any kind of shuffling, whether it's hand over hand or riffle shuffling, you would fuck the cards up completely. You wouldn't be able to use them again. So to me, I'm not going to say it's a waste of money. It served its purpose. Collecting books, I think, is a slightly different, it's a different kettle of fish because you can reread the books. And that's what I'm trying to look at. I don't just want to buy any old book and read it and then have to throw it away, or God forbid I'd never throw it away, but pass it on. So I'm being very selective with what I want to read. And as I say, I'm moving into a fantasy phase. So I'm looking at reading sort of duologies and trilogies and that sort of thing. And even trilogies, I know Robin Hobb, she writes like trilogies that tend to follow on. So you could read the first 2 books, like The Magician's Apprentice and stuff like that. Then you got to read I think it's the ones about the ships. So you would read, and then you could do that as a standalone, and then you could do those as a standalone, but you put them all together and it actually creates 16 books, okay? It's like Songs of Fire, Ice and Fire or something. It's the Game of Thrones series. That also, it never stops, and the books are like this thick when you read fantasy, so it's quite daunting, which is why I'm starting with the YA stuff, which I'm loving. But yeah, so I think The Witcher is going to be the very first lot of adult fantasy that I'm going to read. And yes, I'm pretty excited about that. So books, yeah, still collecting books. My deity collection, my Ganesha collection, it's become a bit of not only a collection, but a bit of an addiction, because every time I see a little Ganesha or Ganesha, I want to buy it, and I'm being held back by Justin, who's like, bro, you have got like 50 freaking Ganeshas, you're not getting any more. But as you know, Ganesha is my favorite Hindu deity, and you can never have too many Ganeshas. And those who don't know me, who are new to the channel, I am Hindu, so I follow a Hindu lifestyle, so I'm not just buying the deities to collect. That's not what you do with deities. I'm buying them because they have religious significance to me. They have a spiritual significance to me. And because I had someone once comment like, oh, you know, you've got all these Ganeshas. I think it was when I did my Ganesha collection video. And they were like, oh, you know, you've got all these Ganeshas and, you know, you should only have one deity on your altar and one Ganesha. And yes, I know all of that, but I don't collect them as a collection the same way I would collect tarot cards or books. These are deities, and I respect them for what they are, and I use them in the proper manner. I say my prayers with the deities on my altar, and it doesn't matter if I've got 25 different Ganesha statues or avatars or whatever you want to call them. They're on my altar, and they mean, spiritually, they mean something to me. So I'm not just collecting them to be a white man collecting Indian stuff. All the deities that I collect, they all have a spiritual significance to me. Okay, so yeah, that collection's probably going to grow. Having said that as well, I've got tucked into my books, and I've cleared out a shitload of books. I think when you start a new project like the project that we've just started here with today's video, I think it's important that you kind of clear the air. You know, you clear the air and you start looking at new stuff, and you start thinking, okay, maybe I need to just expand what I want to do, not only on the channel, but in your life. My prayer room is very special to me, and recently I have had very little energy in this room, and it's now time to move forward, get all the stagnant energy out there, clear space for moving forward, clear space for new energy, clear space for new exciting things to come. And that's what I've been trying to do. The books, I've been absolutely ruthless. I have got rid of a lot of books, especially I've got all my like classics up here, like, you know, Woman in White and all that's my Lovecraft, and that is up there. I've been very ruthless with that. As I say, my Agathas they're like my children, so they haven't changed. But then I've started collecting a lot of kiddies books, which mean something to me, books that I read as a child, and books that I remember other people like reading their kids, you know, like Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Oh my God, that book! If you don't know what that is, it's called The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Go and read the book or watch the film. They're identical. It will break your heart at the end. So if you want to be heartbroken about something or shocked to your core, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. But that's what I'm kind of doing. So I'm moving off at a slightly different trajectory, but it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. You know, often in life we get stuck in this rut and we do the same thing every day, every night. And I think just by tweaking one or two things, just something small to throw you slightly off balance in that rut will help springboard you into new things. Does that make sense? Kind of makes sense to me. I don't know. But yeah, so that's what this channel is really about. It's a bit of a long video because I'm just coming on here, going wild. But maybe that's something that you can think about as well. I've started a new channel. I've cleared out a lot of stuff. I'm going to be cleansing my house. I've started cleansing my room. Yesterday I did a bit of a thing. I was ringing my bell and I was trying to get all the negative energy to fall down and try and sweep it out. And there's a lot of rearranging that I want to still do, but it can be done. It's nice because it's shaking me out of my rut, you know. So maybe what you can do if you want to, maybe I've started a new channel, you're watching the new channel, maybe this is a little bit of an inspiration to tweak one or two little things in your life or in your environment. Okay, not everybody is blessed to have a whole room devoted to like books and cards and tarot and that sort of thing. I'm just very blessed with this. But maybe you can do a little bit of a tweak to your altar, change the altar cloth, or I don't know, get a different version of your god or gods or goddesses. Little things, something very, very small that you can just tweak that will push you out of this rut. First video, it was a ramble, but thank you so much. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much for staying here. Go and check out down below. I've got a couple of links to my new Instagram channel that I've opened, and there's links there to my English teaching channel if you want to have some extra English lessons, or if you want to do if you are a foreigner and you want to brighten up on your English or brush up on your English, have a look down below. All my contact details are there. You know who I am. I was Matt from Tubby Tarot, but now I'm Matt from Soul Shifter. I will see you on the other side.